It's your boy Jesus, chilling at a church. Probably not near you, but it's at least near me. So, chill in the parking lot. You want to see it really quick, actually? That's me. Check this out. Oh, hold up. No, this church is freaking chilling. Literally started coming here to literally, sorry about literally saying stuff, I don't beat the crap out of schizophrenia. I don't know if you know what that is. Where it seems like one of those diseases where you're fighting it, and it's how the heck do you solve it? Because most people when they start they start hearing shit, it's they kind of flee from the situation because it triggers that fight or flight situation, and you go, huh? And it's doctors are you gotta take all this medicine, and it's just a huge process. So I started coming to church. Actually, I was I can tell the spirit to basically back off. And I felt good doing that. And I literally was started doing that and stuff. And yeah. Pretty sure I defeated it. And by the time I realized I had some black hats on me, targeting my smartphone through the, I guess, communication processes, I had this internet trail to where a whole bunch of scammers who I wouldn't say they would start out as scammers on the internet, but they discovered who I was through a YouTube video I created 18 years ago called Scamming Whips on YouTube. It's still there. It's a RuneScape video. I dropped some Dragon Battle Axes, and they were 200k a pop at the time to buy them from this Warrior Guild shop. And in return, I'd take 4 out in the wilderness with me. If I protected the item, I wasn't scald, so I wouldn't lose the items. But I'd bring someone out there with a whip, which was 1.6 mil at the time. So it was one of those things in 8th grade. It's how do you make money on RuneScape? It's that was one of those things where just in the infantry days of RuneScape, it's growing up when you're 14. Yeah, that, close my camera really quick. That's fine. Actually, I want to show you this too. Check this out. This is also a, yeah, pretty sure I still do have a black hat on my smartphone, legal smartphone number, but they can't physically, reach me if they did or didn't, to be honest. I'd rather, tell you that you're going to survive in life rather than, because, we'll get through this shit to where, these scams on, the internet, it's look at this, I'm going to check really quick. I just opened this email because, this email actually is one of those things where, it could have been targeted, probably was targeted a little bit, and I didn't know they were there, creeping in the background, because, security systems on Yahoo are a little different than Google. And, by the time I, got around to it, I had, I think a couple, FBI investigations to where, it wasn't me, but they were targeting my email address because of some stuff I kind of did as a child on the internet, just not really thinking about certain scenarios, because, I'm, just a kid trying to get rich on RuneScape, and I'm, kind of messing with these predators online. They get my email address. Little did you know, I guess they held on to it and tried to hack my dad, dumbass. And by the time I realized it, they're like, haha, Narden, we totally fucking hacked your email address and fucking rammed into MySpace. Now everyone thinks you're a creep on the internet. I'm like, you motherfuckers. By the time I realized it, I'm 33 years old. I'm chilling in a church parking lot, NASA linked, about to fucking, already provide information to NASA, and they're attacking me like I'm a fucking idiot online. I'm like, dude, you guys are the idiots. Actually, you're the one still scamming on the internet, being a dumbass on the internet. And they're like, no, we're not getting off your smartphone number. I'm like, bitch, you need to shut the fuck up already. And they start yipping and bitching at me about how they're gonna take over the internet, lie to the internet, scam the internet. I'm like, bitch, shut the fuck up. You're denied. You obviously, these scams are so detectable that by the time you fucking even say you're fucking supporting this shit, it's look at this. Click here. Let's see if this works really quick. Okay, this is actually, I'm not sure. Different, okay. Could be real. Kind of weird, you know. I like look like when I like need to unsubscribe from this shit. It's just one of those things where it's like it's in the back of the email where it's better off just go whoop, delete. And this shit, you know. Let's check it really quick. Yep, this is one of them scam things that CIA is gonna have to, you know, shut down eventually. Let's check this one really quick. To unsubscribe, click here, okay. Sometimes when you click on these things, it gets kind of spooky. It's like if you enter your email address, it's like, does it really unsubscribe you sometimes? Because a lot of people in the beginning phase of the internet, basically, like, I don't think it was just so new to them that at the point, like, I don't know, kind of they got a little cuckoo. If you're in a situation where, like, I'm pretty sure, you know, that's not trustworthy, I'm just kind of delete that. One of those things where, like, I should delete this email address, but it's kind of hooked up to my NASA linked account right now, to where I'm kind of like, I guess I could move it at some point, but I might make some videos on this situation to kind of help other people to a sense where it's like, you look at it and it's like, because I'm like, I deleted 110,000 spam emails, kind of in this email address where I never opened them. They kind of been cooking back there for a little while, because it's like, I don't know, sometimes when you're dealing with schizophrenia, it's like, are you really focused on things on the internet when it's like sounds like a demonic entity trying to talk to you from behind your neck, and you're like, yo, get the fuck off me, you're denied. And it's like, that's kind of the same thing with spam too. It's like schizophrenia, spam, it's kind of the same message, denied, denied, denied. That's how people kind of, it's like, they kind of, because it triggers a fight or flight response where it's like, when you actually tell it directly, denied, it literally breaks its status where it has to come up with another like lingering attack response to be like, remember, nope, denied, because it wants to keep kind of hanging around like a fucking kind of a creep, you know, creep behind your neck, being like kind of like a hacker would be, where it's like, no, next time 10 years from now I'm gonna rob you. It's like 10 years from now you'll probably still be in federal prison for bank fraud, so don't ever fucking hold grudges against me again, you crazy hacker. Because when you come to this, it's like, yep, delete. Now this one, you know, it's like, I mean, you know, debt relief, you know, let's check it really quick. Probably. I think it's just one of those things where, like, people kind of, so just 2026 right now, you know, people are still learning how to, in other countries maybe, where, like, these people kind of set up a way to email people, and they would take kind of, like, real stuff and maybe have real companies associated with it, like in other countries, where they just kind of mass market it cheaper, because soul ads are a way to kind of mail lists simultaneously and get exposure that's not really, like, Coca-Cola doesn't need to do soul ads on the internet, because a $10,000 soul ad is one of those things like this literally could be a soul ad from this company, to where, like, it just kind of like, or one of those, like, it could be a soul ad, something like that, you know. I'm not really too much familiar with them, but I'm like looking at it where it's like, you know, it could get mixed up in that category, to where it's a little like confusing right now, because most people aren't familiar with soul ads on the internet and different like ad campaigns and different stuff like that, where it's like, you kind of gotta, whenever you're doing like ads and stuff, you know, if you ever do get into paid marketing, you want to start small. You want to test the conversion rating. You want, you know, obviously you want to have something like this, but a legal one where it's like, oh, they're like, because you don't want people hopping on a list and doing this type of shit where you start just some false message to them where it just drives them crazy, where they're like, unsubscribe, and they literally fucking never trust your email address again, because, I don't know, you don't really know how to sell on the internet. And it's like, yeah, you know, it's best to take your time if you need more information on how to, like, honestly, you know, come up with ways to position yourself on the internet. I'm not gonna give you. I can give you quick advice. I'm not gonna get into that field right now, to be honest. Where it's like, because I'm actually, entering the burial industry in my state, to where like, I guess I could maybe do a side course, but not right now. Kind of just detection scams and kind of showing you how to survive them actually. So let's check this out really quick before we go. This is probably it. Alright, other than that, yeah, no, I'm it's probably a good idea to get rid of this email address at some point. But until then, I will. It is kind of frustrating too, because you want to believe the message at the bottom right here, and I think this system could be actually discontinued. It's still out there on some email lists where like FBI or CIA is trying to shut it down. By the time it starts reaching the people, it's like it kind of creates mass panic in a way, because like no one wants to look at this shit and be like, and get scammed out of some money, because scammers are just kind of evil people to the point where they literally don't look at another person on the internet, where it's like, yeah, this is just, it's not really the normal people on the internet's fault. It's those scammers who literally are just kind of evil at this point, where like it might take 10, 15, 20, 30 years for them to really, really, really take care of all of them, but or less. It could be 2 years from now, but I'm just calling it out there where let's think long term on the internet, not somewhere like a quick fix type of shit to where another scammer pops up. Let's like actually congruently, eliminate their entire fucking nest. Is a smarter message than just saying like scammers are here, scammers are there, where it's like, oh, scammers are in federal prison now forever. Peace. Enjoy the video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.